In March of 2020, there was an accidental fire that happened at the off-site barn where some of the animals at Special Memories Zoo were kept during the winter. However, the Outagamie County Sheriff's Office also found several dead animals on the property not related to the fire. This barn fire that took place in Hortonville just before midnight on March 24th, 2020 was found to be accidental, yet tragic. It happened at Gene and Donna Wheeler's residence, the owners of the now closed Special Memories Zoo in Greenville, Wisconsin.
But when we got there, it was fully involved at 11:45 on the 24th, and yeah, I mean, it was a big ball of fire when we got there.
According to an investigation by the Outagamie County Sheriff's Office, firefighters counted 10 to 11 dead animals in the barn. It appeared the fire may have started in the upper half.
There was animals that passed away in the fire. I don't know exactly what they were.
The Sheriff's Office report states that Gretchen Crow, the zoo's longtime keeper, was also at the home the night of the fire and stated there were cows, goats, 1 camel, 2 bobcats, antelope, and other animals in the barn. She also stated that none of the animals are insured. During the zoo's off-season, many of the exotic animals at the zoo stayed there, while others were transferred to the barn, 10 minutes away from the zoo's location. This footage from inside the barn was shot by Bethany and sent to the USDA with her 2015 complaint.
So there's 2 major barns on that property. One of them was an old machine shed that they had converted into what we called the monkey barn. And then there was the other old barn, which had like a bottom part to it. And then the top part of the barn was like all like storage, like hay and straw and stuff. And the bottom part was where all the animals were kept.
The sheriff's report states that Gretchen and Donna feared the fire was set intentionally. Chief Deagle contacted the Wisconsin Division of Criminal Investigations Arson Bureau to seek assistance from the State Fire Marshal's office.
2 state fire marshals came in there, didn't find anything. Barns that are over 100 years old, and it burns that long before the fire department gets there, it's really hard to find out what caused it, because it's just like a tinderbox.
The sheriff's investigation reports that although a specific cause was not determined, contributing factors and other information gleaned from the investigation appear to point in the direction of an accidental fire to the structure. The sheriff's office report also states that they saw a nearby detached shelter with dead animals inside laying on the ground. This shelter did not appear to be damaged by the fire. It included approximately 14 dead goats that appeared to be in various states of decomposition. Another fenced-in area contained some box structures for shelter and located 2 small goats decomposing in this area. There was also a tortoise in advanced decomposition with only the shell remaining. In a follow-up report, the sheriff's office interviewed veterinary Dr. Thomas Young, who has been a veterinary for the Wheelers for approximately 21 years. Dr. Young explained that he examined the animals that were discovered deceased on the property and suspected botulism, a naturally occurring event that likely came from contaminated hay. The sheriff's office inquired if he suspected any neglect of the animals during his tenure working with the Wheelers, and Dr. Young indicated that he did not. Meanwhile, the lawsuit filed by the Animal Legal Defense Fund in February of 2020 requests that the court terminate Special Memories Zoo ownership and possessory rights in its animals and prevent it from obtaining new animals. The lawsuit also asked the court to appoint an individual to identify and determine the appropriate placement for the animals consistent with their best interests. The Animal Legal Defense Fund and Special Memories Zoo are in an ongoing lawsuit. The organization is suing the zoo, while the zoo says that the case is moot. We also take a look into Wisconsin laws on keeping exotic animals as pets. When responding to the complaint on March 18th of 2020, the zoo and the Wheelers notified the court that due to Mr. Wheeler's recent cancer diagnosis and their view that the ALDF will only continue to pursue claims against the zoo even if the zoo prevails, the Wheelers have decided to rehome the endangered and threatened animals and cease their possession of endangered and protected animals permanently. On May 8, 2020, the Animal Legal Defense Fund filed a motion to preserve evidence, requesting that the court prevent Special Memory Zoo from rehoming the animals without informing the court or ALDF where the animals are being sent. The Wheelers responded that prior to the filing of the ALDF's motion, all of the animals had already been rehomed. Nonetheless, ALDF's motion was granted by the court. On May 20th, the Wheelers filed a motion to dismiss the case as moot, saying that the zoo has been permanently closed, the animals have been rehomed, and Mr. Wheeler is no longer seeking treatment for his cancer and likely only has weeks to live. Although the lawsuit may be moot, former zoo employees Amy, Haley, Rachel, and Bethany and the Animal Legal Defense Fund want federal and state laws to change. The Wisconsin wildlife laws require a license to take a wild animal from the wild or to import one into the state. A license is also required to exhibit, breed, rehabilitate, hunt, and/or purchase wild animals. Special Memory Zoo is legally licensed. A DNR report states the zoo's license is a Class A captive wildlife farm. According to Carolina Tiger Rescue's 2019 report on state laws for keeping exotic cats as pets, 6 states do not ban or regulate keeping big cats as pets: Alabama, Nevada, North Carolina, Delaware, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's kind of one of those states that has really lax laws. Pretty much anybody can just go out and buy a tiger and have it, which is garbage, but that's just the law.
That's kind of like the main argument people bring up is like these animals shouldn't be in these small cages, but then nobody can really do anything if they're meeting the law.
We need to look at these laws because they're not protecting the animals right now. They're protecting these people that are collecting these animals.
So not only could the laws be strengthened, but certainly they should be better enforced.